Hey guys, so ever since I started uploading videos about my hammer valve, people have been asking me about how I made my hammer, which is in most cases the hardest part about building a hammer valve gun. Anyone can buy a push button valve and connect it to a chamber and barrel, but making the hammer is most of the time the hardest part. So a lot of people have asked me how I made mine, so today I'm gonna guide you through the steps I took. So here's a CAD drawing of my original plan for the gun, with the chamber here and the barrel and then my handle with the hammer and the valve and all that. So over here is just the valve and just the hammer, and then all the parts separate here. So it took me a while to get the design to a point where everything would function smoothly and the way I wanted it to. So I came up with this. You can see here the whole red part is the hammer, and that is connected to a spring right here, the main spring, which goes to a bolt to hold it in, and the purple part here is the trigger, which is hinged on another bolt here, spring loaded, and the spring is held in by this block here, and then this bolt that goes through the body holds the trigger from going back too far. So right over here is where it is cocked and ready to fire, and once you pull the trigger, you can see over here the trigger has been pulled and it will go up because it is no longer being held by the trigger right there. So those are the two states here. And over here what I did was I just took the valve apart, or took the hammer apart, and I got all the parts to where I could print them out. So I put it on this sheet here so that when I printed it out it would be all to scale. And then I printed this page out and cut out all the parts, and then what I did was I took some sheet PVC that I made out of 2-inch pipe, and I just took the paper parts and I laid them over the top, traced them, and hammered a nail into the center of all the holes, and then so I knew where to drill all the holes. These holes, the smaller ones, are like 1/8 inch, I think. Doesn't really matter because they just hold stuff in, and not a certain size needed there. And the larger holes I used 1032, I think. Again, doesn't really matter because it all depends on what size you have or what you want to use. It doesn't matter, they're just hinges. And yeah, these two holes hold this block in. You might be wondering what these are, this block and these two things. Well, one of these goes on each side of the hammer, and then this gets flipped 90 degrees and goes on the front, which you can see on my final design. So I'm not actually going to build the whole thing again because building it took a few hours easily, because it was just so many precision cuts and everything, and I used a Dremel, and it takes a while, so I'm not actually going to do that again. But now that you know how I did it, if you want to make it, it shouldn't be that hard. You can pretty much copy exactly what I have here. Nothing has to be real exact. You can just make it work for yourself. And yeah, just cut the parts out of plastic. Whatever sheet you have will work, as long as it's like around 3/16 of an inch thick, I would say. Maybe a little less because PVC is actually a little less. But yeah, cut the parts out of your plastic sheet and bolt it all together, and that's pretty much it. Get the right spring. It was hard finding a spring that would fit inside the body, but I found one, and I later found another one that I just recently added for more power. And yeah, just pretty simple from there. It's not too hard, just cut it out. Takes a while, but it's easy. Yeah, so that's how I made my hammer. If you have any questions about the process, you can leave a comment, and thanks for watching.